What's up, everybody? Welcome to Swaggy Vets, man. Hey, we got an amazing guest for you today, Kriss Miles. Hey, from getting shot at a young age to going through adversity, getting arrested, and then joining the military, man. Can't wait for y'all to see this. If you love our content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a Swaggy Vets episode. Cue the intro.
Now on the set of the Swaggy Vets show, we do it for the sisters bros from coast to coast. A place where it's safe to go to make sure that a soldier's stories are told. All around the globe, going worldwide, representing military pride. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
You should already be at the position of a 10 for them boys when they come out, the original first Swaggy veteran. And then you got that boy Big Pen. Hey man, salute me or shoot me. And if you ain't no vet, you better not talk like one.
All right, let's do this. Boom. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Swaggy Vet Podcast. I'm your host, Big Pen. I got my co-host with me today, Swaggy Gullah. What's up, my man?
What's going on? What's going on, Swaggy Vets? Feel good to be in the building. Salute, salute, salute.
Hey, man. Today we got an amazing guest. Today we got Kriss Miles, a U.S. Army veteran who served from 2003 to 2023, retiring as a Sergeant First Class. Kriss' story is one of redemption and resilience. Growing up in the DMV, getting caught up in the street, surviving being shot in 2002, turning his life around through the military service. Now he's here to share the real lessons of the journey, what it takes to overcome your past, lead under pressure, and keep pushing forward. Welcome to the show, Kriss.
Oh yeah.
Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Oh man, that was crazy to hear, man. What's it like growing up in the DMV?
Well, it's pretty rough, man. Cause like when I got shot, when the situation happened with me, we were actually the murder capital, and I remember like just a whole bunch of horror stories. Like when I got shot that month, one person got killed every day in my city. So just knowing that and growing up like that, it just really triggered me. Like even being in the emergency room, hearing people screaming and stuff. Cause that night, like four other people had got shot, and like just waking up, hearing them, and then they actually didn't even put me in a room. They moved me down the hall in the emergency room and sat me right in front of the door. Like they moved me out because my room was like non-fatal, so they moved me out, and I was just out there in the hallway hearing all this stuff, man.
Dang.
It changed my life though because it made me think about like what I was really getting into and everything. Like I knowing that I couldn't keep that cycle going, you know.
Yeah. So go back before then.
Yeah.
What was it like just growing up before that?
Before that, it was pretty good. I played sports. I played football in high school. I was pretty good at that. I wasn't the greatest, but I was pretty good.
What
Um,
position?
I played running back and cornerback.
Ooh, okay.
All
You was
right, all right,
fast.
all right. Cornerback, one of the hardest jobs on the field.
Yeah, and then but I had moved around a lot. My mom was in the military, and so I had moved around a lot. The only reason why I say I grew up there is because when I moved there at 14, that's when all the events in my life started occurring. I was living in Central America and Panama, just out for military service before that. And then like when I moved there, like everything started to change in my life. So that's where I found myself. And
Yeah,
but
you was in Panama, huh?
yeah, Central America.
Yeah.
That's why I really got started being bad, but it just transitioned over. And
So
then
what was it like going from Panama coming back to the States though? Was that like a culture shock?
no, because honestly, in Panama there was a whole lot of Americans. I mean, because like it was duty station for my
Oh
mom,
yeah.
and
Nice.
I went to school with a lot of kids from America. I didn't go. I only went to the local school once. It was called Balboa Elementary. I went there, and when I transitioned back to America, to be honest, the only thing that was a little bit different was the substance I used to smoke was a little cheaper there than it was here. But like besides that, the transition was all right.
You
Friends
understand?
was a little different, but yeah, the transition was cool because I just kept playing sports. That type of stuff makes everything easier because you just go from playing football there to playing football here, then you just find a whole new group of friends and continue to grow. But
So,
yeah.
when did you realize you're like it just clicked? Man, these streets trying to get me.
Um. So I had ran away when I was 15 from my mom's house, and
All
I was
right.
kind of like living. I was kind of like living on the streets and stuff, and it didn't click then though, but that was my first indoctrination to what it's like to really be on the streets. So then I moved back in with my mom after I got shot, just to get away from DC and try to start over. And when I really, really felt like I was trapped is like when I was trying to do the right thing. I was trying to get a job and I was trying to do all that stuff. And it just wasn't working out. Like it was went to a job interview, they hit me up and was like, yeah, we're not interested in hiring you. And like I was just running out of luck, man. And I always had it in the back of my head that like my mom was in the army, my grandfather was in the army, my dad was in the army. So I was just always like, yo, that's my last resort. So then one day I woke up and my mom was like putting me out. I was 20 years old and I was like, well,
But prior to that, at 15, you had some malicious charges.
yeah, I got charged with malicious wounding. Um, I don't even remember like even being in that area. The only reason why I got charged with that is because I had a prior situation. I was living on Fort Belvoir, and
VA.
yeah, I was living on Fort Belvoir, and my me and my homeboy, we got into a situation where we had stolen a car, and since I was always like in trouble, they came and picked me up for this situation where this person had got cut up pretty bad. They took me down to the station and they gave me a lie detector test, and I failed it. Now I was not at the scene of the crime. I was nowhere near what any of this was, and technically they're not supposed to be able to convict you off of a lie detector test. That's not admissible. But this is a federal crime, so for like 2 years, man, back and forth to court until they finally just said like, hey, you're ruining this man's life. This man would like to go on with his life. He's 17. Can we drop it? And then they dropped it. It was a terrible situation.
What was it?
Congratulations on that, brother.
What was it like? So when you heard you could be 25 years,
Man, fight or flight, man.
man,
Like,
I couldn't even.
it's like when my because I couldn't afford a lawyer, so when the court appointed dude told me that, I was like, nah, you're not about to tell me this. Nah, we about to fight this, and I wasn't there. Like I true to life was not there. I was nowhere near the thing, and then the dude that actually they were charging me with it for, he didn't show up to court. But when he finally did, like the second to last time I went, they were like, he said it wasn't me. It wasn't me. And I'm looking at the judge, and the judge still don't want to throw it out. They still didn't want to. They figured that lie detector test was enough. So when I was looking at that amount of time, man, you would think for a little bit like, man, my life done. I'm done.
Especially that young man. I mean, I couldn't even imagine being that young and somebody talking about you could possibly get 25 years. You're like, man, my life over.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just stay with it, man, and try to stay on the positive side of things. I ain't gonna sit here and like flake and be like, oh, God and all this stuff. Now, I ain't saying that I don't believe, but at that time, I don't think he was with me. He wasn't in my life. You know what I'm saying? So even though I was being charged, it didn't make me do the right thing. It just made me be a little more smarter about how I moved. But at the same time, like, I'm just thankful that, this stuff played out the way it did, because, I was able to join, like, and then my mom being the person she was and because she was a paralegal in the military, being the person that she was, she got my record expunged. So therefore, like, when I went to go join the military, I look at it on my file now where it says a charge and it has like a stamp that says it's expunged. So those little things and little key points in my life was like, yeah, I'm thankful for that, because me trying to join the military with that, they'd have been like, Yeah, we'll see. We'll see you later, man. So yeah, that was definitely a low point, but I'm glad it ended the way it did.
All right, Chris.
What's up,
Let's
bro?
take a moment back through time.
Mm-hmm.
You were shot on your own street, on your
Yeah.
own block. Like take us into that moment in time, that very second when everything changed in your life.
So what happened? So this I was in a situation with this girl, and the girl, she became my girlfriend, right? And it was I this is why I never get mad over women, but like he was mad at me over a woman, and our two neighborhoods was already into it. So one day I was just I was hanging out, man. I was doing my do what I wasn't supposed to be doing, but I was doing my do, standing on the block. Um, next thing you know, like down the street, typical stuff. Lights go off on the car, and we're thinking like, okay, when that car pulls up, we gonna hit the alley and go. The car didn't roll. The dudes jumped out the car, right? And I'm running down the alley, and they start spraying down the alley, and a bullet hits my back. And like when it hits, I drop to one knee, and I'm like yelling to my brother, like, "Yo, I'm hit," and I'm trying to get around this corner so I don't get hit again. And when I'm turning the corner, it actually clips my brother too. So in that instant, I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for the shooting to stop. And then I hop up and I run over to my brother, and it was worse for him than it was for me. Um, and like the adrenaline in me I didn't stop. I was sitting there helping him. I was holding him. I was doing everything I could. He passed right there, and then when the ambulance came for me, they cut my shirt off. They did everything. Mine was just really non-fatal. Like even the detectives and the paramedics told me there's absolutely no reason why that bullet curved. Like it went straight in my back where it would normally hit a lung, but for whatever reason that bullet turned. It didn't hit a rib, it didn't hit anything, and it turned, and it ended up being non-fatal. I just had to like put gauze on both sides. But what really affected me was the fact that my brother, I mean, now by any means, this was not my blood brother. This was just like a close friend, but I called him my brother. But that's what really affected me was the fact that like his life was lost all over some stuff that I did. Not even I did. It was just over a female, and it just sucks that even back then, like people were just into it about those type of things, and yeah, that type of situation really affected me.
Chris, appreciate you for taking us through that walkthrough step. Um, what's your brother name, if I may ask?
His name was Curtis.
One time for Curtis. Can we have a moment of silence for Curtis? Gone but not forgotten. So thank you. Thank you for saying his name on the show and letting us know that story right there. I know you still think about him often and still carry him through your journey through life. So we appreciate that. We know that moment right there was a very emotional moment. So we appreciate you for taking time to share that with us, brother.
Yeah, you're welcome.
When it comes to the military, we're going to go to two words: last resort. What finally made you choose it anyway?
I
In the
think,
term last resort, what does that mean to you? What did that mean to you? And how did that?
yeah. Uh, just like it was it. Like so, when I was already on the streets, when I was an adolescent, 15 or whatever, and then like just to hear my mom or know that, hey, I'm about to do this again. This is about to happen to me again. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, nah, I can't do this no more. Like I can't. Like it's because like I had already had it so like bad. Like, I wasn't even a high school graduate. I had got my GED going to Job Corps, and it's like I just couldn't do it again, man. I couldn't go back to what it was like when I was living on the street. So it was just like I went straight there, man. That's why it was my last resort. Cause I knew I always could, I knew I always had it in my pot. I knew it was always something that I had grown up in. So I was like, I got that. I got that. And the last resort almost wasn't available to me. So due to other factors like the war and stuff like that, they accepted me in. Like I even went to Air Force first. They said no. So like, cause I didn't have a high school diploma. They didn't take GEDs.
Understand.
So when I say last resort, that's exactly kind of what it means. I had nothing left, man. Nothing. I had the clothes on my back. So I figured since, the security people I went to wasn't hiring me, I was literally going to job interviews every day. And no, like I could have went to McDonald's and they might have hired me. But I mean, I'm 20 years old. What's that life gonna be like? I even tried to apply to barber schools, denied. You know what I'm saying? Like everything was like closing the door. But hey, man, y'all know this as well as me. Them recruiting offices, them doors ain't closing. they'll always be open. So that's just why, like all those things were building up, and that was my last resort. So I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and do this. Didn't want to do Navy because I can't swim that well, and we all seen the Marine movies. So I was just like, yeah, let me go ahead and do this Army thing, even though that's a little scary. I remember when I went back, and I told my mom, like, hey, let me get in the house so I can get my documents, like my birth certificate, social security card. And then I went and I left, and I came back and I told her I signed up for the Army. She was like, you're going to die. Because she
Going
thought I was going to war. Like she was like, "You're gonna die over there." And I was
leading into those
like,
infamous 5 words. What was your exact age at that moment when you heard those words? You're going to die in war, and those words coming from your mother. Tell us about that, and did those words follow you downrange?
So I was 20, and I was actually coming back from the recruiting station, and I don't think she said it out of a place of like hatred. She said it out of a place of love. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
never thought that my mom didn't love me. It was just that I had developed myself into my type of man. But when she told me that, it stuck with me because I thought to myself like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to die over there, and I don't. But it it just it was just fear because I didn't know what was going on over there. I was trying to do this as a way to escape.
Yes.
I wasn't worried about Afghanistan, Iraq, nothing like that. It was just the simple fact that like, I'm trying to get up out of here. So even though you're telling me or you believe this, like, hey, you're gonna die or something bad's gonna happen to you over there, it it didn't push me away because that's not what I was doing it for. It became what I did it for, but it wasn't at the time what I was doing it for. And it affected me over there is because like you know how they say like when you're scared, it makes you more aware. It gives you a heightened sense of things, and that's what it was like. I would think about that type of stuff in my head while I was over there, and it'll keep you like it kept me kind of like on point, like looking around, making sure like ain't nothing behind me or in front of me, even though I know my brother's got my back, but it's just like it just keeps my head on a swivel and lets me know that like, hey, if you're afraid, you're like kind of like, all right, I'm on edge. Like I'm looking here, I'm looking at what's that person doing, what's under her, what's in his, why is he so heavily dressed? Something like stuff like that that makes me think like, my mom doesn't think I'm gonna make it back, but I'm gonna make it back for her, and I'm gonna make it back for everybody that love me. So
It
that,
it look
that
it looks like in the midst of the journey from you being a teenager to getting shot to the words last resort to the words you're gonna die at war, the charges and everything. You
yeah,
say God was it in your life at that time, boy. You're living proof.
yeah,
He
yeah.
he he been covering you in the midst of
Covering
it all.
covering me through everything, and I probably got, I got more than a few angels up there also looking out for me even to this day. So I know somewhere deep beneath that, no matter like there was, even at the points where I kind of didn't know if he existed, I know that some way, shape, or form, somebody was looking out for me. You know what I'm saying? And although it's been a lot of struggles and a lot of pain, my heart is pure and I'm whole and I'm thankful to just be here. And I love helping others get through their journey as well,
Heck yeah.
Understood.
Oh, you in the Job Corps, Kriss?
Yeah, I went to Woodland Job Corps up in Laurel, Maryland, man.
Okay, yeah, I went to the Job Corps in Gainesville, Florida, man.
Yeah, look, if anything, I will say this, before the military, Job Corps saved my life, man.
Me too.
Like, as bad as it may seem, like that little, did you get that $1,200 when you graduated or whatever too?
Oh, yeah. Hey.
I used that. I remember I used 900 of that to buy me like a little Ford Tempo,
Hey.
just to get to work, man. That GED and that program, man. Hey, man, I don't know where I would be. It's sorry. Like, I think the military is way more important to me. But as much as I can say it is, man, Job Corps, man. And I'm mad. I think the government got rid of it, but dang.
Yeah, the one I was in closed down. What trade did you end up getting while you were there?
I was doing the electrician. I was trying to be in and out. It was like 45 days.
I did the pre-law, so it was cool. The pre-law helped me get E3 when I came in, so I was like, heck yeah.
Yeah, take that.
Absolutely.
Take that. I got E3 off of JROTC.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
So boom, you enlist, you show up to Benning. What was your thought process when you show up to Fort Benning?
I mean, I was still a little street. So like we fly the plane to Atlanta, we drive the bus down. Like the bus driver, he let us smoke on the bus and stuff. I was bad, man. The little people like, here's amnesty moment, put your cigarettes here. I was a smoker back then. I don't smoke anymore, but I was hitting my black on the bus, and then like he was like, hey, we're about an hour out, so throw away all your blacks and your cigarettes and any last requests. And I was like, hey, I gotta pee. So we all hop out, run the wood line, we pee, we come back, and it was just like anything else you see. Silhouette, it's dark. Drill sergeant walks up on the bus, gives you about 10 seconds to get off the bus. It was an experience, man. I like I said, I was still hard because like if anybody's been to Benning, they call it Sand Hill, and you go through 30th AG, and then like when you're in 30th AG, everybody's talking about, when you go down here. We had a PFC that was there for 18 months. He had dropped out, but they kept him there for medical reasons or something like that. And he used to always tell us like about how it is down there, like, and we used to never listen to him, but yeah, like, and then when I go down, when we go down range or down to Sand Hill, it was just different and just odd because like being a support MOS and like I'm in Benning, all these dudes, there's some ladies too, like, but there was no dude, no females, and like my drill sergeants were pretty rough, but that experience was just different, man, because like I had a little homeboy, he went to Benning with me too. He was a cool friend of mine, but we split up over the years. But like it was just different, man, being down there and like getting indoctrinated and coming into the military. But it was prideful because nothing against Jackson and all those other places, but it was just prideful because like they say, Benning boys, they just cut from like a different cloth to me. You know what I'm saying? So it was fun, but it was just different. I got to like a little altercation my first day. My drill sergeant told me, I'm gonna get that gangster up out of you. He used to think I was like gangster and stuff, and I wasn't trying to be. It was just hard, but I will say that if anything changed my life or maybe look at things differently is when I got out of there. I was totally changed. I came in a little 110 pounds. I was 150 when I came out of there. Still lightweight,
Nice.
but I had gained weight, eating potato salad every day. Like it was a process, man. But I really, really liked going to Benning. I wouldn't have wanted to go anywhere else. So,
What do you think the biggest lie that was told to you before you joined that you found out wasn't?
biggest lie.
Because we all have a preconceived notion before we go, but then you get there and you're like, you know what? That wasn't true. Maybe it's difficulty of basic, or I don't know, something.
I think one of the biggest lie. I don't know. I know one thing my mom told me not to do, and I did it anyway, was be a cook. She said I was gonna hate it. So I feel like that was a little bit of a lie, because like I kind of like being a cook. Of course, as Big Pen, no, I love being a Jumpmaster a little more, but
Yeah.
but I didn't
Airborne.
mind. I didn't mind being a cook. I'm sure y'all know somebody, and y'all we were in the same circle. I mean, y'all know I got a love for like my boy Hare. I know you've been on the show, and a couple other people that Torian, Tate, all those people, man. Like I love being a cook, and I think the lie is that I think one of the biggest lies is that the military is hard. It's not. You don't have to be good at anything in the Army. Nothing. You could be the worst person at your job, but if with the promotion system and everything, just show up on time in the right uniform. I guarantee you, one day you'll get promoted. One day you'll move up in rank. It's so easy. So it being hard or whatever, I don't know. I think it's very easy, and I think a lot of people might have said it was hard, but it's not. It's really not to me.
Yeah, right place, right time, right uniform. That's all you got to do when you first show up.
All you gotta do. You can fail your PT test in the Army and still promote you. Nah, I'm just kidding.
You got excited when the word Jumpmaster was when you stated that right there. So the term you got to do it to understand. Take us through the day in life of a Jumpmaster in the 82nd Airborne Division, and let us know how addicted it is to be hanging out them doors.
All right. Well, just to let you know, I never did a duty at 82nd. I would have loved to, but I never did. But I will say that all my duties were done in Alaska, right?
Understood.
There's a big difference. Like for instance, when I went through Jumpmaster school, I went through the 82nd one. It was right before I was PCS. I actually missed my report date for Jumpmaster because I was in Jumpmaster school. And the difference is, like, for instance, when they teach you in school, you get the 6-minute reference points and all that. So if anybody's ever been a Jumpmaster at Bragg, there's one difference with Alaska. So our drop zone is called Malamute, right? And the difference between Malamute and the 6 drop zones on Bragg is we only got one. And it's really small. And there's this big river called the Nick, right? It is against our regulation to give a Jumpmaster the door over the Nick. So if you know how to be a Jumpmaster, imagine getting the door at 45 seconds before green light. You have to do your door checks. You have to signal your jumpers. You have to do all that. So that's the difference between like being in Alaska and being at Bragg. But hanging out that door, only thing I didn't like here was when it was like -70 outside. Hanging out the door is not that fun, but when you do it, it is a beautiful thing. I did have one almost terrifying incident while I was here. Is my safety didn't secure my rucksack, and I was hanging out the door, and I have this on video. I was hanging out the door, and the wind took my rucksack. It was trying to, but I was holding on. So I tapped my leg back like 3 times, and my safety grabbed me. And I was like, dang, that was so close. But yeah, I love being a Jumpmaster. I did it late. I wish I would have did it early. I really, really wish I would have did it like as an E5 when I was doing my first tour around Bragg. It just wasn't pushed like that in my MOS. Like even when I got here, unfortunately, I had a sergeant major tell me that you're a cook. You shouldn't be a Jumpmaster. We need you in the DFAC. And then my sergeant major went back and told him, was like, bull crap. he's a jump master. We need jump masters. Why are you going to tell him that you're going to take his jump master away and make him work in the DFAC as an E7? So, but I love being a cook. Don't get me wrong. But when I went through that school as an E7, it was amazing. And the fact that an E5, Sar Marcia, she the one that like one time I was on a jump and she like told me what to do. And I'm her boss. I'm like her E7. She's like, sit down, son. I'm like, oh, my bad. That right there was like, nah, I'm gone. You know, so it was like, from that point, like, I loved it, man. I loved it.
So about Jumpmaster School, since that was one of your passions, what was the hardest thing, part of Jumpmaster School, going through that process?
Them circles. Them JMPI circles, man. In August, in Fayetteville or Fort Bragg in August, it's hot. And then during COVID, so we all got masks on, and we had to sanitize our hands in between each jumper, and then I had to go through twice. So, because I failed the first time. So, like, the circles was the hardest part. Like, because I literally, like, after my first time, I cried. I cried in the car, man. Like, I went and I failed, and they told me, "Hey, you're a no-go on my little my circle B or my test, my final test, my 5th time." They were like, "Nah, you're a no-go." And then I went back to the station where the senior jump master was, and I gave him my slip. He was like, "We pick up on Tuesday, man. I hope to see you there." I went back to the car. I was crying, but hey, Tuesday I was there. So I got right back in, and I think I passed on my final exam, on my final. And them circles though, it'll get to you. Like, it's hot. That's I thought the hardest part though.
So for the future jump masters to have that in there and in foresight, what advice would you give them?
So definitely, like, don't focus on that goal. Focus on your dream. The thing that I think really, really got me the first time is that, like, I was partying, man. Like, this was during COVID, but I had, like, my homeboys, they were like promoters. They were like promoters. They were party promoters. And, you know, all the clubs were closed, but they were throwing parties. And I was still partying. I wasn't focused. I wasn't locked in. And that was one of that's one of those schools where you got to practice. You got to be locked in. You got to shadow at your house. You got to go through the motions at your house. You have to really, really get it down, because 5 minutes goes by very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And following your hands with your eyes and getting it synchronized and down, you have to lock in. And that's what I would tell somebody is lock in. If that's your dream, if that's what you want to do, you have to focus on it. You can't sit there and be like at the club partying. Like, take every minute and focus on that. Trust me, you'll see the benefits from it if you reward yourself by being one. You will see the benefits from it. But if you just do like I did my first time through and don't lock in and don't focus and out here partying and not studying and not doing anything, you'll mess around and it just won't be for you. I've seen so many people, E9s, E8s, because they brought them back to brag and said, "We're giving you a company." And they think they're getting a company, but they failed pre-jump. You can't be a first sergeant, sergeant major in the 82nd most of the time, unless you're a jump master. So you can't go there and think it's just a game. Like, oh, this is the easy school, I'm gonna pass it. Back then, 33% pass rate? Come on, that's not an easy school. There's some schools that's harder. I think Pathfinder's probably harder, and some other schools are harder, but 33%, you gotta lock in, man. You just got to.
Appreciate that, Jump Master. When people hear the word cook, they assume safe. What do civilians get completely wrong about your job?
So I often tell people in my infantry friends and stuff like that, and I say infantry friends because it's different for us. Like, so everybody got to eat, right? So when a civilian thinks, "Oh, you're a cook," you were probably in the back or in the DFAC and you was just working. But they don't know that when there's 42 people out at a fire base with just walls surrounding them, there's only 3 support MOSs usually there: a mechanic, a cook, and a medic. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I ended up most of my time is on deployment. Like, in the rear, I get it. I'm in the DFAC. But out there, I was always one of the people that was be out with the infantry guys. At least my first 3 deployments. My fourth one, I was like, nah, I ain't going nowhere. But my first 3 deployments, I was always the one of the cooks that just went out, man. And the misconception is that we're just in the rear, we're not on the line, we're not doing nothing. I'm gonna get his information for y'all, but my old commander, Captain Colonel Furlow, he'll tell you I was his point man on patrols. Like like it's either if you don't have nothing to do as a cook, they're gonna find you something to do, like he did. Hey, you're gonna do patrols with me, or they're gonna send you out with the infantry guys, and you're gonna work for them. And I enjoyed both aspects of it. There was one time I got sent out, and I told them I don't want to come back. I stayed with that platoon for the whole deployment up until this was the 09 2010 deployment. I stayed with them the whole deployment, but the only reason why I left is because I went out torched, so I had to go home. But yeah, that's just the misconception. I mean, yeah, there's some cooks that don't go out, but I know I did. And I'm not saying it's for everybody, and I love everybody for their service, no matter what you did. I don't care where you at. You played your part, you did your role. But yeah, I try to like dead that misconception of what cooks are.
One time for the cooks out there. Salute, salute. All right. Next up, you were the winner of the Philip A. Connelly Award. What did you do to separate yourself from your peers? Give us that championship mindset behind the win.
It was funny how I got selected for that role that I played. Now, just to give you a little background on what it is. So the Philip A. Connelly is a garrison and a field competition. We did the field one. And it's basically a team event though. It's it wasn't I got presented the award because I was like the shift leader. So I was like the one that was barking out like, hey, get the food ready and all that. Actually got thrown into that. I was at a bad part in my career. Long story short, I went to Cuba for a year. I got demoted from E6 to E5, right? No, I ain't got no cap for you. I got a DUI over there. So I got demoted from E6 to E5. I came back to brag. I was actually looking for a job. I was like on the internet, like, I'm about to get kicked out. My RCP coming up. I ain't got no hope. I walk into DFAC and, I look squared away. So the NCOIC of the Philip A. Connelly was like, the team was like, I want you. I was like, want me for what? He was just like, I want you to do this competition with us. And I was just like, you sure? You want me? Like, I don't know if you really want me. He was just like, man, you just got that high speed look. You seem like you care. And I was like, I was the type of person that I'd never let anything really like damage me. Like, it would be like, dang, I got, like, I think I'm about to get kicked out. I'm running out of time. But you know what? I'm gonna show up every day. I'm gonna show up on time. I'm gonna keep my head up, man. Never let them see you sweat, like Tupac said. So like, I'm not gonna let them see that. So I'm just sitting here and I'm just doing my job. I'm showing up for work every day, and the next thing you know, I get selected. We go out to the field and then it's my unit too. It was my equipment. So yeah. And then
You're familiar with everything.
Yeah. And then at the same time, I went to the E6 board, and that was pretty good too. They gave me my promotable status back, and then a couple months later, I'm 86 again, and it was like my saving grace, And it's all because I just kept my head up, and like we said earlier, I think God was looking out for me. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, ain't no thinking about it. You was in Cuba for a year tour. Received the DUI, got demoted from E6 to E5, came back to the States, and was like, man, I think they about to kick me out. God was like, nah, we're not done with you yet. You had that grit, that grind. And when the competition was set up for you, all of your equipment, your team, and all the personnel you already knew. You can't beat that on a bad day, brother.
Can't at all.
So you was prepared. So salute for that. Thank you. When you were in charge, what kind of leader were you? That brings us into that question right there, coming from the Philip A. Connelly Award, because that exhibit your leadership skills. So tell us what type of leader you were.
So if y'all know me, I'm like a meme guy. So to me, like, you see, you got a leader that like probably sits up on a pedestal and kind of like, cracks the whip. And then you have like the leader that kind of like tries to lead from the front. And I don't want to lead anybody. I want to stand beside you. I
Mm-hmm.
want to walk with you. I don't feel like anybody that I ever led, I don't feel like I ever led them. I felt like I was privileged to be in a position to learn from them. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't learn anything on my own. I learned from the people around me. So like when I had soldiers and stuff like that, I walk with them so that I can learn with them and we can do this together. Yeah, I provide some insight because I have a little bit more knowledge. But when I provide insight, it wasn't like, you know, do this my way. It was like, hey, I think you should do it this way. What do you think? Because I want you to give me your idea too. Ain't no team in this world where somebody that's successful where somebody just says my way or the highway. You have to walk with your team. You have to lead like that. Now, if you have to step in front, sometimes you will have to step out there. But most of the time, you have to bring them with you. Like, so no, I've never been the type of leader that just stands in the back and watches my guys run around with their head cut off. I'm always the type of person like, let me get in this fight with you. Because that's just the way that I kind of was taught. Like,
Did
I
that
had
help you be successful as a master fitness trainer, platoon sergeant, ops NCO, and a jump master? Just a few of the positions that you did get to serve in the military. Did that help you out?
Yeah, it really did because it just put me in a situation where I was able to learn how to teach individuals. You know what I'm saying? I like when I was at like Stewart and all these other places, I never got the opportunity. So the Philip A. Connelly helped me see people differently and then also helped me like because sometimes you got to step back and see what somebody's talented at. Because not everybody's able to do the same thing. Like this person may score 300 on the APT test or 600 now on the
Mm-hmm.
ACFT, but he may not know nothing about his job. So his strength might be master fitness trainer. And then you
Mm-hmm.
got another person over here that's like, I had people that were very good in the culinary aspect of things. So I'm like, yeah, I want you on the team because like you can cook. So
Mm-hmm.
you like kind of like try to mesh both those aspects. You put him and him or her together and say like, hey, y'all feed off each other because y'all gonna become stronger together and rise together rather than, hey, you stay over there and you stay over there. So being on that team and being in all those positions help me see like a full spectrum of people's talents and that's what you are as a senior leader or sometimes as you're a talent manager. You're managing their talents and saying like, hey, you go here because I know if I put you here you're going to accomplish that task. But then the real strength is when you swap. I'm like, hey, I know you can't do that, but I'm gonna put you there and I'm gonna make you do it by guiding you and telling you, hey, sorry, I don't know what I'm doing over here. Well, I'm going to show you what you should be doing so you can learn it too. And I'm going to show you over here what you should be doing so you can learn it. So, yeah, that it really taught me to look at my people as like what their talents really are.
All right.
So when you were talking about you deployed, Kriss, what things were you doing when you left the wire? What they have you doing?
So, I've been on a couple convoys. Nothing set. It was kind of all over the place. I was like a what do they call it? A Swiss Army knife. Because like I said, when I was on my first deployment, I actually was with 782nd. Went out there. Um, I was at Salerno for a little bit, and then next thing you know, they're like, "Hey, we're attaching you to 2508. They need cooks." All right, Sergeant. Packed me up, shipped me out. And then when I got out there, I stayed on Ghazni for a little bit. Then from there, like I went out to my first place was Four Corners. Went out to Four Corners, mostly just cooked. Like when I went out to Four Corners, I had an MKT, which is like just a mobile kitchen trailer, and I just cooked dinner for those guys, and that was basically it. That I kind of experienced my first like that's where I experienced one of my first like full on attacks. And it was funny because it wasn't, we had got a rocket shot at us one night. And then the next night, the infantry guys went out on patrol to see where this rocket had fired from. And we started getting small arms fire, and it was the A&A.
Oh man.
They were shooting at the patrol guys. So they shot a flare. The infantry guys was about to light them up. I'm on the tower. I'm on the wall because we didn't have a tower. They pulled up a Humvee trailer, and whoever was on guard would stand on the trailer and look over the wall. So I'm looking over the wall while these guys are patrolling. And I see the A&A. They start shooting, and I'm like getting shot at. So I duck down. And then when they hit the flare and I stood up to try to fire back, it's the A&A. And I'm like, and then the infantry guys was like, we just about to light them up. It was so funny. But yeah. And then after Four Corners, went back to Ghazni. Then I went out to Tarawa, came back, went home on leave. After I got promoted to E5, went back out to Camp Airborne when I came back. So most of my deployments was spent out cooking for infantry guys. And then, like I said, the second deployment, I was doing patrols with my commander because we didn't have nothing to do. We were at 5 Apache. I was with 1508 because I was with 1508 my second deployment. So I went to 5 Apache. We didn't have anything. We did patrols. We were kind of like the what do they call it? We were kind of like the people that went out and talked to the population. We did like humanitarian aid stuff. Like we went and gave them rice and beans one time, and we used to do public patrols around Zabul. No real situations. I shot at somebody's bike one time because he was driving up too fast and wouldn't move out the way. But nothing really happened. It was just something new. And then I got sent out to cook for some guys again.
So you go out, help them out on patrol, then you come out and cook for them?
No. So when I was out with the infantry guys, I would just cook. That's all I would do. I would cook. I do tower guard. Sometimes they take me on patrols, but it was mostly voluntary. I'm like, yeah, I want to go. You know what I'm saying? So it was mostly just cooking and a little bit of tower guard. Some pretty mean attacks. Like when we was in Navajo, my second deployment, we had a pretty sizable force attack us one time. Just out there with the 11 Bravos, man. Sometimes I go on patrol with them. Sometimes I had to go out to the bazaar. Sometimes I didn't have food. So I'd go out to the bazaar, buy a goat, come back, come up.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? It was just the experience of just being out there with them and yeah, doing some patrols, getting in some contact, especially on that trip to Tarawa, we got hit up pretty bad. So no loss of life or anything, but it was just a long, daunting convoy. So I did some RTO stuff, things like that.
So you kind of did a lot of OJT stuff that you learned a lot, huh? That's cool, man.
Except for my third and fourth deployment, it was a lot different. My third deployment, I was cooking for MARSOC, Marines, on Fob Robinson out in Helmand province. That was kind of like a unique deployment because I was with Third ID, and we went out. It was just a different type of mission. So, I was out there cooking for them. I had workers and stuff. Never really left the wire with them. Of course, their missions, like, they wouldn't just take a little cook with them. But I stayed on the base that whole time. And then my last deployment, I was on what was left of Kandahar. Because there wasn't much left in 2000, when was that, 17, 18? Yeah. There wasn't much left on Kandahar. I was an acting first sergeant for that deployment. Got asked to leave the wire. I told him no, I'm good. I want to make it home. Like I don't want to do that no more. So I was just a staff sergeant, but I was like, nah, I don't want to go.
Yeah, when you said Helmand Province, man, I used to go to Leatherneck quite a bit.
Yeah, that's where we were out of.
Yeah.
Baxter and Leatherneck. Yeah,
man.
That's where my first sergeant and then was at.
I was like, man, they got some nice stuff over here. What's going on?
Man, yeah, it was pretty nice.
What's some funny infantry life moments that being out with the infantry boys that you wouldn't probably go through if you was just with a bunch of cooks? Did you build any rapport with them?
Yeah, we had this really funny dude. His name was Thompson, and I can't remember. I still talk to him now, but I can't remember what hill number it actually was. But he used to always tell a story in the tent about Hill 32, and he used to always just talk about like they went out on patrol one night, and they had got shot at, so they were chasing the guys to the mountains because the Taliban would come out, shoot at them, and then they run back into the caves. So they were following them out, and then they ended up cresting this hill, and they were like in the PL, Lieutenant Gecki, rest in peace.
One time,
yeah, and he had told them like, okay, we're gonna stop right here. We're gonna set up security position. I wasn't with them, of course. I was back at the base, but he would tell the story, and he was like, yeah, I don't know what it is about this hill, but it seems like it was cold, hot, raining, and snowing all on this hill. Like the whole time he was up there, he was like, I was covered in my whoopee at one point, then I took it off. Now it's snowing, now it's raining. All the winds and the gods and everything converge on this hill. And he used to always say, you don't want to be out there stuck on Hill 32. It used to be a little funny. This is a real funny story, man. A lot of rapport. Like another funny story that I did go through was it's not even about the infantry guys. It was about the A&A again because they always do something funny. They were doing a night mission and they were giving the A&A nods. I don't know whose idea this was to give the Afghan National Army nods, and Lieutenant Gecki and them issued them nods. They had them signed for them on 2062, and I was just like, yeah, they're not going to remember that. And every one of them, we told them, like, hey, do not turn these on and look at the sun. Do not do that. Man, when I say about half of them went outside, I was in our little makeshift gym. I was out there lifting weights, and I was watching them literally come out, crank them on, and go like this and look at the sun. And then come the night of the mission, all the A&A converge. They do like a little mission brief as they always do. And then a couple of them come up and say, my nods aren't working. So the guy turns them on and looks, you cracked the lens, bro. Good luck on your mission. He takes the nods from him and like, you're not getting another pair. You better stay with him. Because it was just funny because none of them listened. They were like, are y'all going to, like, come on, man. Like, they told y'all not to do it. The Terps sat there and said, hey, don't do this. And you go outside and it's like, come on, man. So.
You got any real scary moments from the deployments?
Yeah, so there was I don't know what this guy had. Maybe it was a machete, right? And he was chopping something. It was just at Atgar. And somehow he cut the biggest chunk out of his thigh.
Oh.
I don't know if he hit an artery, but he came to us. Like, if you're an Afghan, you're out in your village, you injure yourself, the first place you want to go is like, and then go see the Americans, they'll help me. Mm-hmm. We helped him. The medic tried, but it was like a big, nasty chunk. I'm looking at it like, I'm about to throw up. I'm like, yo, that's sick. Like, I think it was a machete or something. He cut like a big, gigantic chunk out of his leg.
So it wasn't just a cut and you could put the skin back. It just was just not there.
Not there, bro. Oh, completely gone. And I was just like, ooh, that's nasty. I don't know whatever happened to him. Hope he's all right to this day. I mean, I never wished any ill will on any of the Afghani people. I understand that there were bad people in the country and there were good people in the country. But, yeah, that was like really, really disgusting. I was like, golly.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Um, you said you weren't always a good soldier, and at times you lost rank. You shared moments and snippets of the story throughout the interview. I want to know, what was you battling inside that led you to that during those moments?
Um, I would call it, the best way I could call it is I have a little bit of survivor's guilt. So my survivor's guilt is about Tate. All right, so um, 1 second.
Take your
Um,
time. Take your time.
so after what happened, I've just that demon was just always in me, and yeah, I think that's what I was battling, and to be honest, in Cuba, man, I would not recommend that place to anybody. I was going through it, like so I had showed up there. I had immediately got under investigation for fraternization, and then once that blew over and came back unfounded, alcohol is just a terrible thing, man. And I'm not saying that to say like I don't indulge today, but I have dumbed down to just socialize drinking. But I just was battling a lot of demons back then. We're dealing with that survivor's guilt and dealing with just a lot of different things, and that was one of the things that I was dealing with. And then on top of that, just the stressors of just the way things were going for me at the time. Um, yeah,
Thanks for sharing.
yeah.
When did you finally say, "I'm fixing me"?
That Connelly, man. When I started fixing myself when I got a chance to, and I felt like the people and God and everybody else was giving me a chance to say like, hey, you can bounce back, bro. You can do this. You can retire. You can get through this. You can prosper. You'll be all right. And I think when I was given the opportunity to do that Connelly, and when I sat in that board, and it was funny because when I went to that E6 board, like one of the board members was an infantry guy. He was the sergeant major for my BSB, but he had reclass from infantry, and I had cooked for him my first deployment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Um, and then like I sat there and they were like, "Hey man, I noticed that you got demoted. You want to tell us about it?" And that was like my moment where I was running around trying to hide this. And
Mm-hmm.
at that moment, I told him like, I got a DUI, Sergeant Major. And then like they dismissed me, and I had like no hope. Like I left that board with no hope. But I think the one identifying moment is First Sergeant Garcia, right? What happened was like the Connelly area that we were set up in, they were trying to kick us out. Range control
Mm-hmm.
was like, you can't be here. You're too close to the cockaded woodpecker. Like you can't be by this woodpecker. And so they were trying to kick us out. So I'm leaving the company and like board's over. I'm not even really thinking about the board. I completely washed it. I didn't answer like no questions right. So except for the NCO creed. So I'm walking out the company, and the first song comes up to me. He's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And I was like, "First song, I'm so sorry about my board performance. This Connelly competition got my brain all tied up. I don't know what was wrong with me today in that board." He was like, "Man, screw that board. You gotta go." And I was like, "Damn." He was like, "What's up with the Connelly site?" I was like, "I'm working on it." He was like, "Y'all do not move that site." I was like, "Roger, first song." And when he told me that, that was like my ray of sunshine, man. I felt like, dang, got another chance. And then to add to that, when we landed in Chicago for the award competition,
Mm-hmm.
I checked the points and I found out that I had got E6 again. And I was like, dang, look at God.
Look,
Look
look
at
at God.
God. You know what
Respect.
I'm saying? And then like my cousin, she had hit me up and was like, "Hey, why are you on the E6 thing again? You been made E6." I was like, "Cuz I've been lost it too." He was like, "Man, don't lose it again." And I was like, "I won't. I won't." So it was just that little span between like October 2000 what was it, 16 or 15 up until like May 2016. It was just a sequence of like rays of sunshine and God just looking out for me, man. So yeah, whew, that's when I found my hope, though, man.
Thanks. If you could go back in time and talk to the version of you that was slipping and going through it, what would you tell yourself? What would you tell him?
I think I would say that pick yourself up and remember that the finish line looks better when it's behind you, not in front of you. So get to that finish line. No matter what it is, everything you do, get to the finish line because just don't quit, man. You can't quit. Like with every battle, with everything you go through, man, you gotta pick yourself back up. There's nothing in this world that you can't do and that will actually like prevent, like you can't, nothing can stop what's already designed for you. Like you want to be a jump master, if you want to run a marathon, if you whatever. I told my fiance this the other day. I said, if you want to do a 5K next year, let's get the training. Like whatever you want to do, man, like it's designed for you. You just gotta do it. You gotta pick yourself up. It's your race and your pace. So it might not happen at the time you want it to, but this is it's at your pace, bro. It might not be ready for you yet, but it'll be there when the time is right. You know what I'm saying? You can walk to it or you can run to it, and there's nothing wrong with walking. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would tell myself. In other words, your pace, your race, your pace. Because it ain't got to be fast, bro. You can slow down a little bit. Catch your breath. Take your time. You know what I'm saying?
Respect.
Yeah, one of the reasons that we started this whole podcast journey is to get on here and talk. Because what do we like to do as veterans? We like to get in here, we like to BS, we like to talk, we like to fellowship, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So getting it out is kind of like therapy. And so you mentioned Tate. Who is Tate to you?
Take your time.
I know. That's why I wanted to talk about it, man. That's why I said, this is the talk.
Take as long as you want.
Yeah,
Take your time.
And that man is like the world to me, man. Like he was my squad leader. He wasn't my squad leader the whole time. I mean, of course, Hare and Smith, they know a lot more about him. But at the time of the situation that occurred, he was my squad leader, man, and like I was going through it then, not like any kind of like demotion type stuff, but like I was in the thick of it. Everybody was turning their back on me because of an incident that had occurred, and he was just always there, man. Like, cause he was my squad leader. I spent a lot of time with him before coming home and going back and forth because he was in charge of the A lock or whatever on Kandahar. And you know that's kind of where the survivor's guilt come from, man. Cause it was just so.
Take your time.
If he would have, when I was leaving on that second deployment, I was going torch because I was the second highest ranking person, and I went to BNOC. Back then they had BNOC. I went to BNOC phase 1, and then I had came back, and my commander wanted me to go to Rangers. Well, before that, my commander wanted me to go to Ranger School, and my first sergeant wanted me to go to BNOC. So I ended up going to BNOC, and when I came back from BNOC, they were like, "Yeah, you can still go to Ranger School." And I had told them, I was like, "No," because I had just had a newborn. And I was like, I'm about to deploy and you're trying to, I don't want to, you're taking time from my daughter and I'm not going to do that. So it's one or the other. So I went to BNOC and I came back. And then they told me that I was going torch. And I remember when Tate showed up, I was like, they were like telling me, like, they told him, since the manifest had already been turned in, he's like, man, if you would have came 2 weeks earlier, you would have went Torch instead of Miles. So deployment happened. I went Torch, went out there, did dang near nothing. Coming home, and then one night I was on CQ, and Sergeant Smith, another Smith, he came in. He was just like telling me that Tate had passed, and I thought it was a dude named Roshan Tate. I knew another Tate, and it was still sad. And then he was like, "No, man, it was Sheldon." And I was like, it just, that's why I say it's survivor's guilt, because when they tell you that it would have been you, what if it would have been different? Like, what if I was there and he wasn't? Would things be different? The fact that it was like a month before we were supposed to come home, that hit too, and not just him, but like Lieutenant Gecki, I was mentioning earlier, I had spent 11 months with him too, and they both perished in the same incident. I mean, Tate hit me harder because, like I said, if it was just 2 weeks, man, 2 weeks between life and death, and the fact that even after that, I had to get I think I wrote in the thing was I had to get like a general to sign off on me being an escort because I didn't outrank him. But I felt.
Take your time, brother.
I felt like between all four of us, because I knew that Hare and Smith couldn't be there.
It was
and
your
I know
duty.
it, and I felt like I felt like I had to do it. I had to be his escort. I had to, because it would, like, they even flew my E7 from Afghanistan to be his escort, but I was already on it. I flew up to Delaware, and I'm sitting there in the brief, and it's still hitting hard because, like, they're telling me that they're going around. There's a Marine guy there with me, and he's there for his brother, his blood brother, and they're telling him close casket. They're telling this other person close casket. Then they get to me and they say it's the family's decision. Then they give me all his stuff, his dog tags and everything. I asked the family if I could keep a set of his dog tags, and they let me. And like, I get there and I fly down. We get off at the airport by Fort Stewart, and I never cried. But the whole time I sit down with the family, I go through his belongings, I give it to him, and then I like I said, through this whole process, I did not shed one tear. I don't know why. And then, when the one of the bad parts is I was probably one of the last of the guys to see him, because I had to put his ribbons on, and I had to put his beret between his hands. And a lot of people were there, but I was the only soldier that got to go in that room with him. And to me, I mean, he didn't look so bad, bro, but it just hurt to see him there. And then to have to do that. And then his family decided to make it a closed casket, and I just to go through all that. And then, I was at the funeral, and then I rode in the hearse all the way from Fort Stewart to Sumter, South Carolina, where he's buried. And it was just hard. And like I said, I still talk to his wife. I moved down the street from his mother at one point in my career. But when they put him in the ground, man,
Take your time, brother.
That's when I broke. That's when I was like, like that was it. A master sergeant walked up, this infantry dude. He was like, rock steady, bro, rock steady, stay tough. And I'm like, nah, I can't. I was like, man, I can't. So I walked away. I went into the wood line and I just cried for a minute. And then even some of the people that were on the detail would tell you, like, when we got back, in the trucks, because we were headed back to Fort Bragg, I didn't talk to anybody. I put my headphones on. I would say I would say it was Tate's favorite artist, Gucci Mane, sometimes. He put me on the Wale too, but he really did like Gucci Mane. And I listened to Gucci Mane all the way home, and I just looked out the window. It hurt, man. It hurt. That survivor's guilt, the fact that like 2 weeks made so much of a difference, man. And then like from that point, I just feel like, man, it's been tough. And it's been tough, man. Like I feel like I do everything for him. I feel like I talk to his mom, not his mom. I talk to his wife often. His daughter is doing so amazing. And I just wish sometimes he was here to see it, man. That's all.
Absolutely. Yeah, I went to air assault school with Tate. We lost him, and then we also lost Albert.
Yeah, Albert too.
Yeah, I went to air assault school with Albert. Me and him did the 12-miler together, so that hit me pretty hard. And I remember because Tate was at the ANCOP compound, and I was on the mentor team for the ANCOP, and I remember going to that compound many times. I was like, this is a freaking safety hazard.
Yeah, man.
That place was small, and it was in the middle of the city, so it was very accessible. And I was like, I didn't feel good about that place, man, because I went there several times before that happened.
Yeah,
So,
I just wish, not for my own life to be taken, but I wish we could trade places, man.
I got
I
you, man.
wish.
One time for Sheldon Tate. Let's have a moment of silence for him, brother. Thank you for sharing his story, man. We all knew him.
So, how'd you climb out of that darkness, Kriss?
I guess I could just say I just stayed busy and stayed. I'm just now getting more in touch with God, so I don't know, man. I stay busy, stay focused. Yeah, and just every now and then I just looked at him and said like, hey man, I got this picture hanging up right there. I got another picture sitting over here of him, and I just look at him and I say like, hey man, I'm gonna keep in this fight, man. I'm gonna stay fighting. I'm gonna keep swinging, cause I mean, I don't, like I didn't know what I loved. I didn't know what I actually enjoyed. I enjoy being a Jumpmaster, a cook, and all these things, but what do I really love to do? And I still haven't really found that out yet. I know one thing that I really, really love to do is help veterans and help soldiers and do that to the best of my ability. Like I like to do it silently, but it's just what I love to do. So I just had to find my calling, and one of those things was just to be like a jump master, to just fully engulf myself in the work to keep his memory alive. Like for Thanksgiving 2019, and if you know anything about the Army, the cooks always do like a big old Thanksgiving after DFAC and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I had my soldier, and it made me cry. I have a picture holding it. He made a bust of Sheldon, and I put him at the front of the DFAC. I was in 1st Brigade. 1508 is 3rd Brigade. But hey man, that's me and him worked in that building together. Like that's I felt like I owed it to him. Like you go to 3rd Brigade, they don't even really know who he is. But I did. So I was like, all right. So he took some chocolate. It was like some kind of chocolate, and he made a beautiful picture of Tate, beret, everything. And just keeping that memory alive, because like his memory keeps me above the water. So that's how I get through the darkness, is just that, like, letting him know that I won't quit and I will keep in contact with his daughter and I will keep in contact with his wife. No matter the situation, I will always make sure that even if they ever need it, I'm there, man. If you
We
ever
all we got. We all we got.
yeah. So
Salute to you for that.
yeah.
When it comes to your transition,
hmm
it wasn't planned. It was fast. What went wrong?
I don't think anything went wrong. I think my brain just didn't work properly. It's like, how do I say it? It's like I was just triggered. You know, like how sometimes like even when you're like a lower enlisted, like you're an E4, and then like you say like, man, screw this crap. I'm getting out, man. I'm done. And then like 2 weeks later, you raising your right hand. Like, I'm staying. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. I was sitting there and I don't remember what happened. And I was just like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Cause like it wasn't really nothing anybody did. It wasn't I didn't think that I wanted to get out in 2020. I was like, I'm gonna be a first sergeant, I'm gonna be a sergeant major. But like something in me is just like, you know, when do I want to start this new life? Do I want to be looking for a job at 50? Or do I want to be looking for a job at like 42, 43? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When so like I just decided that like, maybe I'm holding somebody up. I'm a placeholder. Why
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be a placeholder. How is my health? Is the military traditionally good for somebody's health? Not necessarily. So it was just kind of like, yeah, let me go ahead and get out the way, let somebody else take over, and also like take care of me. You know what I'm saying? And start to figure out what's next in my life, because I mean, as we all know, you don't just get out. They don't pay you enough to retire. You know what I'm saying? You got to do something else. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, to be honest, I think officers probably get paid enough when they retire, but not lower enlisted, not the enlisted guys. We get a little bit of a shaft. So like, I mean, the system's already in place, so I can't do nothing about that. But yeah, it was just me, man. The army fully prepares you to get out. I'm not gonna sit here and cap. They tell you 3 years, utilize it, but I didn't, and that's one of the reasons why I'm still in Alaska, because I figured retiring and staying where I was at was easier than retiring, and my dream was to move to Texas, but I didn't even know I was gonna start school until I did it. So like, yeah, so.
So in the midst of that, do you plan on relocating back to the States or keeping your roots in Alaska?
Absolutely. I'm coming back to that lower 48. Alaska's good though. I ain't gonna lie. Alaska's a beautiful state. Beautiful state. But after about 3 years, man, you probably seen enough. Like
Understood.
if you like hunting and fishing and stuff, hey, yeah, this is where it's at. But other than that, hiking, I love to hike. I love mountain hiking, but other than that, man, like, yeah, I'm coming back down. I'm just getting this degree, then I'm gonna move back down.
Understood. First 30 days out. Who are you without the uniform?
Who was I? Lost, confused, did not really like I had no clue what I was doing. I just knew I was in college, and I don't know, man. I felt like I did a lot of things wrong. Like, I mean, I know not preparation for getting out, but like with my VA stuff and all these things, I had no clue what was offered to me. Like to the point where like I went to the retirement brief and I asked him like, "Hey, I might be wanting to use my education benefits. Is there a brief for that?" They were like, "No, we just assume that everybody transfers their benefits." I'm like, "I didn't." You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like all this confusion for me, and like, I last minute figured out what I was gonna do and then worked it out from there. I didn't file anything until like 6 or 7 months after I started claiming stuff late, like sleep apnea and all that. Like it. it just was bad. I was going to sick call on leave, on my retirement leave, to get my PA to put stuff in the system for me. But like I tell people sometimes, it's like, to be honest, when people be like, you should go to sick call, I ain't saying you should, but you can claim whatever you want. They gonna figure out if they gonna give you something for it. You don't have to say like, I can only claim what's in my medical record. Nah, claim whatever you want and let them read it out. Let them tell you what you do and don't have. Because some people sometimes, I told my homegirl, this chief I know this. I was like, look, take your medical records to your PA and ask them to decipher it for you. I look in that thing and I'm like, what is that word? You know what I'm saying? What does that mean? I don't even know what that is. Should I claim it? What is that? You know what I'm saying? And one of the words was cholesterol. It meant I had high cholesterol. And I tried to claim it. And they was like, no, that's not what that, you can't claim high cholesterol. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't know what those words were. So I was very confused about all of the processes. That SFL tap little VA brief, it wasn't enough. And, I didn't have the knowledge. So
That's funny. They say no cholesterol, but we eat all them MREs. That's full of cholesterol.
a lot of it. A lot of it. So yeah.
Understood. All right. Be honest. What hurts more? Losing the uniform or losing the Brotherhood?
It would hurt more to use a Brotherhood, man. I mean, I hang you. I can't. I don't know where I'd be without my Brotherhood, man. Without my brothers and the people that I talk to, and like that uniform could go, man. If I had to lay it down for my brothers, I would, man, because they the ones that get me through. That the guidance and the thought processes and the things that I don't know. And if I ask my brothers, they gonna tell, or my sisters, they gonna tell me like what I should do, or hey, here's an idea, or something like that. So like, while you losing a uniform definitely hurts. Like, I mean, I feel like I could still be doing it, but then I wake up in the morning and my back hurt a little bit, and I just say like, nah, I can't. But you know, I don't know where I'd be without my brothers, and I like Jones, man. Funny story. One time,
First Swaggy Vet.
yeah, he saved me, man. He saved me one time because he was stationed in Fort Stewart and I was stationed in Fort Stewart, and it was New Year's 13, 14. It was right before I went to ALC, and something happened in the club, fight, whatever. And he had a VIP section, and I was like, "Hey, man, you got some ice?" Because I had hurt my hand. And he gave me some ice. He pulled me up in the VIP. These dudes, I know the dudes was looking for me, and like he pulled me in there, and I was like, I was so thankful for that, for him being there. And he had his own agenda. He was there with I think his wife at the time. He lived down the street from his mother lived across the street from me in Hinesville. So like, yeah, like all that type of stuff, man. That brotherhood, man. Just like knowing that's somebody always got your back, man. It's just the best feeling in the world, bro.
Understood. Do you miss the danger or do you miss the purpose?
Miss the purpose more than the danger. The danger is just something that's added to it. The purpose of like building and mentoring and stuff like that. That purpose right there of like knowing that I don't know what it was, man. So like let's say like a soldier comes to you, and this is an actual experience, and says like, hey son, I'm trying to go back home to Nigeria. And the process of that, going, because you got to go through all the passport and the S2 and doing all this, and me sitting in that office till 9 o'clock at night to do all this S2 paperwork with that soldier. And then not only that, drop him off at the airport. That's like a beautiful thing. That's a lot of purpose. Cause like, it just makes you happy to know that like, resolve that. You know what I'm saying? Not making a soldier come sign their leave form after they have a child. You take it to the hospital or you take it to their house. Like, no, spend time with your family. That purpose right there, that mentorship is, I love it, man. The fear, the thrill or the fear or the anything else is it's just added to it. It comes with the job, but like I love the fact that like, hey, all my soldiers came home. Everybody's home. Everybody's safe. Whether it be from JRTC, NTC, Germany, or the desert, or the mountains of Afghanistan. If you get everybody home, man, that's a hell of a purpose. That's a hell of a thing.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
So whenever you transition over, you use some terminology, WTF, when you was reading them medical records. What does that mean?
It's like I just said, man. I didn't know what I was reading.
Yeah.
You know, I just didn't know. Like, for instance, I had a situation where I went to my doctor, my PA, right, while I was on leave, and I was like, hey, I really think I have sleep apnea.
Mm-hmm.
And he, I had went to do sleep apnea test, started it after my 2008 diploma, but I never finished it because I went right back to Afghanistan. But now I'm trying to do it, and he's like, well, do you have a girlfriend? And at the time I was like, no. He was like, so how am I going to prove you have sleep apnea? So this is your basis? I have to have a significant other say I stopped breathing in my sleep for you to send me to do this test. So what he ended up doing is I can't give you a sleep apnea referral test until you go to insomnia training. So I went to insomnia training for a month and went through that. And then they gave me the take-home sleep apnea test, failed that, went to go do the actual sleep apnea test 2 days before my retirement date. So, like, those type of things, like, that's why I say it doesn't have to be in your record. But when I look at those records, I was like, what is this? What does all this mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew what I had been through. I knew I reached for the ground and I think I broke my foot. I knew that I was going to have, like, the airborne back, you know, your lower back vertebrae and your neck, your bulging disc in your neck. I knew I was going to have. I knew I had carpal tunnel. I knew what had happened to me. I knew my wrist was broken one point. But, like, what about the add-on things that, like, was in my records that I just didn't know about? Like, I didn't know what these words mean. That's why I said WTF. Like, what does this mean? You know? That's why, like I said, take it to your PA. Say, hey, sir, ma'am, can I sit down with you? I need a block of instruction because what is in this record? Tell me what I can claim. That's what they're there for. I mean, it sucks that they're enlisted. They're in the military too, but they should be able to tell you like what this means. Because sometimes that VSO, love them, love the VSOs, love all the support that they give when you get out of the military. I really do, and I actually had a really good one. But they don't know what that stuff means neither. So you just maybe Google.
So your doctor sent you to diagnose a problem that he didn't even know you had yet.
Yeah.
Well, this is why I'm here, to take the test so you can diagnose me to get help.
Yeah. And he's I can't prove that you stop breathing in your sleep. I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? Stop breathing for my last time in my sleep and not wake up? Like, it's as much as I hate the CPAP machine, I do. I sleep with it every night, but I hate that thing. I was looking up the other day if there was like a pill form I could take or something. Cause I ain't doing no surgeries though, but it's just something else besides that big old hunk of machine. Now is my carry-on luggage. I don't get another bag anymore. I have to carry this with me. So
they actually have a really small one, a travel one.
They do?
Yeah.
I'll talk to them about that one.
Yeah. So what do you think the biggest myth that you believed about the VA benefits before you got out? That now that you know it's not a myth.
It's like I said, what you can claim.
What you can claim, okay.
Yeah. I work, so if y'all don't know, I work kind of for the VA. I'm a student worker, but I work in MVSS, which is I would say like a liaison to the VA for students that are trying to use education benefits. So like the myth is like you can claim whatever you want. They'll read it out. They will say like what they told me, like bilateral hearing loss. You ain't got it. I still tried. There is no stain in trying. They're either gonna give you a 0, which is still a percentage, or they're gonna give you something. And yeah. And another myth is just everything involved with your education benefits and everything like that is it's really good to use those education benefits. And I didn't even know about it. I didn't know about VRNE. I found that out working. You know what I'm saying? And then now I'm using that. I didn't know about DEA for my kids. I didn't know about that. But all good things. Like the myth is that the VA is just a bad place, or some of them sometimes they just overwork, man. Like I talk about my VRNE counselor all the time. Like she probably got like 200 students, man. Like sometimes when one person's in charge of so much, you can't like ask too much of that person. I mean, we all want good customer service in life, and I understand the VA sometimes falls short of that, but gotta give everybody a chance, man. Maybe how about this? Maybe prioritize your life a little better so that you're not rushing to get results.
There you go.
Like if you want something done in a month, why didn't you do it 6 months ago so you can know it'd be done by this month? Why are you like better be done by January and it's December 15th? Yeah. That's not how life works.
Did you do your, what is it called, the Rudicil?
I haven't used that yet. I didn't do it though, but okay. I know it's available. I don't have to use it because what I'm doing with my degree and everything, I don't really need. I don't think I'm really gonna need to utilize those 12 months. Because what happens with VRNE is you can actually petition to get your Chapter 33 reinstated while using VRNE. So that's what I'm trying to do, is get that reinstated, and then I'll use that to get my master's degree, and go on from there. Probably be a CEO or something one day. I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
But Rudicil is a great thing. I've heard people come in and use it. I just ain't got to that point yet. I know it's not. You just have to apply for it like you would anything else. And I think it's more Montgomery GI rather than post 9/11. So we get people coming in the office all the time using it. So
understood. You're a senior at the University of Alaska Anchorage.
Yeah.
And work in military veteran student services.
Yeah.
What made you choose to keep serving the community even after retirement?
That purpose. Remember what you asked me earlier. It's the purpose, man. It's. I couldn't think of a life where you don't help others, man. Like I'm all about humankind, man. The human in that, like wherever you come from. If I can help layer out some things for you, if you're confused about something, or if I can serve you in either way, I don't care who you are, I will. It's just I saw a lady lifting some de-icer into her car the other day. My back was turned, but I turned around and looked at her, and I went and threw it in her car for her. It's just helping people, man, especially veterans, because veterans don't often know about their education benefits, or their dependents, or their spouses that are using their benefits don't often know. So I just couldn't see my life as being someone that just couldn't help others. I always want to help. And with that, I am also, I am a member of the SVA, which is Student Veterans of America. I'm a club officer for that, and I'm the president of my university's management and marketing club.
So leading into that, you being the president of management and marketing club and SVA secretary, what does leadership look like for you now without the rank on your chest?
It just a slight bit different, man. Just I'm just trying to lead these clubs into a direction where everybody can understand. So what these clubs kind of do more so I kind of let the SBA thing. I try to lead that one in a direction, but I'm being secretary of it. I'm not really like in charge, but we come together and we just with that club in particular, we just try to bring the camaraderie together for those that are out. We do like hikes and um, we have like Alieska. It's a ski resort here. We're trying to do stuff there. We're trying to go to shooting ranges. It's just bringing people together. Um, and then for the marketing and management side of the house, when I'm doing that, that's more so community outreach type things where we're getting guest speakers and people to come in to help students, not just veterans, but any students. I mean, my vice president's also a veteran,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just to help students, even veteran students, with like proceeding with life. Like that guest speaker that comes in can tell you how to get a good marketing job or what cues you should think about or what areas you should lean into, what things you should do to get ahead in this world. So that my leadership role now just is more so without the rank, but with more of like just like community driven. Like I depend a lot on the community and the students and my also still my coworkers to help me push these initiatives forward. So in a sense, it looks exactly the same. It's just without the stripes.
Understood. When it comes to the VA educational benefits,
Mhm.
what's some of the most common struggles and mistakes you see veterans deal with and face in today?
Um, So, like for us, the biggest thing that happens in our office is people don't submit their certification request form. That's one thing. One of the struggles that I do see though is that like there's kind of like this. So it's kind of like two of them. So with VRNE, people trying to get in contact with their counselor or get their tungsten PO number sent to the school. That's kind of like a big task, and people normally are very angered by it. The other part of it is when using veteran benefits for like your kids, like if they're using like DEA, if you're 100% disabled, some of them, some of them kids, and I say this lightly, you're 18, so technically you're an adult, but some of them don't realize that this money is for your tuition. You got to pay your tuition. So they'll call and be like, "Hey, my tuition's not paid." Well, we deposited the money in your bank account. Why didn't you pay it? So it, a lot of the people that come to my office or come into our office that are trying to utilize their veteran benefits, I would honestly tell them like you can do some research on your own first,
Mm-hmm.
like and try to see like how these benefits work for you. Because once it's in or once certain timelines are missed, it's kind of too late. So you have to kind of like do your own research. I know some parents like to get in the weeds with all the benefits with their kids because some of them don't trust their children. It's fine, but sometimes I would just say like with anything else, just do your research. You know.
I appreciate that. Going into vision and what's next, you're going into a business degree in global logistics, supply chain,
Yeah.
then MBA from a top 25 school. What's the mission behind you?
Um, I'd hate to say it like money. Uh, it's just money, man. I'm trying to, I'm trying to, I'm trying to put myself in a financial position where I don't really like want for anything, and I want my kids. So I have a funny family, and me. even with my associate's degree, I'm the first graduate of college in my family. So besides my dad's son.
Let's give yourself a round of applause for that, for you and your family, bro. Salute
Yeah.
for being the
So
first gen straight out of Panama.
that's that's one of the things, man. I want to be a better example for my family. Like I want them to say, like, if there's somebody to follow, it's Uncle Kriss, or it's my dad, or it's my father. It's I'm not saying that everybody has to get a degree in this world, because there's people that make it without it. I'm respecting all hustles. Like however you get to your coins is how you get there, and that's
Mm-hmm.
fine. I just want to show that education is also important. Like I read books. I'm different than how I was before. I don't just read my school books. I read biographies. I read motivational books. I'm looking at Atomic Habits right now, which is a motivational book. I've read the 50th Law, 48 Laws. I read these books and I do these things because I'm trying to show my family that education is important, and staying focused and goal driven is very important. My vision is just to get that top 25 MBA, man, and I don't want my life to be like, I don't want to leave nothing. Like I'm not a fan of generational wealth. Don't get me wrong. I want my kids to not live off me, but I want them to have like the stepping stones in place to say, my dad showed me the way. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to do. I want to just make enough money, be a CEO, COO or CEO, or maybe not. Maybe a Walmart greeter. My happiness, though, is very important. So I'd be happy to say that I have an MBA on the wall, and a bachelor's on the wall, and associates on the wall. Just those things. And if it doesn't turn out for me, it's fine. Maybe something else is calling me, you know? But, you know, that's my vision, is to get those things, get my degree, get all these things, and just show my family the way.
Man.
You're already doing it, brother.
Yeah, man. What so with everything you got going on now, Kriss, what do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years from now, I would love to say that I've graduated from, I've done some research. Darden is University of Virginia School of Business.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to say that I've graduated from Darden. I would love to say that I have a couple of minors underneath my belt, and one or two goals. So I would love to run a company, private organization, maybe outside of the military, just its own entity. But my dream is to work back for the military, man. Support them soldiers still. You know, go back, take my logistics and go back in and maybe work civilian sector logistics in the military. You know what I'm saying? I love the structure of the military, and I love taking care of soldiers either way it goes. So that would be my dream. So like we might be moving back to the DMV area, and I know that I can prosper a lot there with my degree. But we'll just have to see, man. But that's where I see myself, is, you know, possibly just, my dream would be just to be working back in the military, using my degree, and working back for soldiers, working for them this time, because that's what civilians do in the military.
Yeah, man.
They work for the soldier. So.
Yeah, we one of the individuals we had on, Vicky Brialis, she does logistics at Fort Bragg, and she loves it.
Yeah,
Still working with the soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I saw her one time when I was in the motor pool right before our PCS to come up here. She was working out in my motor pool, man.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I walked in there one time. I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" I think she was like ordered parts for the mechanics or something. So yeah, it was interesting seeing her in there. I know Vicky. You know, she's cool. She a cool people.
Absolutely, man. Man, I want to say this. Getting out of the military, like we were talking about before with the VA, I had to really find myself because you go from having a structure to being in charge of soldiers to doing training to having an op tempo. Now you're just in charge of yourself. Was your transition from that, was that hard? Did you have to get any counseling? Because we preach all the time on here, go sit on somebody's couch, go talk to somebody for your mental health, man. That's very important.
So, like I told, I did do some counseling on my way out. I was going to see a counselor. It just depends on the person. For me, I did go see a counselor because, like, when you have so much pent up inside of you, like pain or aggression or whatever it may be, sometimes you have to go release that pressure. For me, though, I did talk to counselors, and I also go to the gym every day, minus Sunday. But that's my way. You know what I'm saying? If it gets too deep, I do go talk to counselors. There's certain marquee days, times of year where I do that because sometimes I just need it. But other times it's just staying busy, staying active, doing runs or 5Ks like this one, and doing half marathons, or going to feed the homeless, or doing something like that for veterans or something. Like those things keep my mind occupied, because a static mind is can be dangerous. So talking to somebody is cool sometimes. I started groups on Facebook for like Sheldon. I talk to people in there. I have a group for Echo Company 1508, me and Sheldon's company. We created a group so we can lean on each other. I've gotten phone calls from people in that group. I've posted my number in that group. So yeah, counseling is extremely important if needed. But if you also have to occupy your mind, and I hear people say this now. I can't say that it's true, but some people say that the military actually wants you to die by 65. Don't let that happen. I mean, it could be false, but like your military ID, your retirement ID expires when you turn 65. So think about that. So I would just say stay active and seek counseling if you need to. I have, and I do sometimes, and it's a good thing.
Man, that's some good, some great advice, man.
Thank you for sharing that you run marathons and all the things you do in the community to be active. So whenever you do move and relocate to the States, Swaggy Vets always have events going on every year. We have the Donna event coming up, the Donna Run in Jacksonville, Florida. That's a half marathon and full marathon as well. We do the Tough Mudder every year, bro. We got a lot of amazing events. So whenever you get in, we'll definitely plug you in, and we will definitely love to sponsor you for some of these events. All right?
Always, man. I'm with it. I'm down for
We all we got.
Gull is he's our events guy. He does all the events, so he knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I know who he is. He definitely can get you some events.
Got you covered there.
Like I said, he used to put me on. I didn't know the step show was happening. We met in the Food Line parking lot. He gave me some tickets, man. I was happy to hear. I was happy about that one.
Hey, we all we got. We always found some amazing things to get into. The term "get up, get active." That term right there. Why does that save lives? What does that look for you in your daily operation when you're working through your day from top to bottom? And when it comes to saving your mental health, how does that look when it comes to that term? Get up, get active.
Yeah, your mind, man. Like like I just said, a stagnant mind is it's like a bomb if you're like to most veterans. Because look at what we've done, like, you know, for this country and for people to have this way of life. So like if you're experiencing pain, sometimes activities will weed you away from, you know, any of those thought processes. Like I said, just you know, go to the gym every day. You just gotta stay active, man, because like your body will not appreciate you if you don't get up and do something with your life and stay active. Like, you know, I get it. If you've done so much, man. Like we've all done so much being service members, and you've 100% earned your retirement, and you've 100% earned it in every shape of the way or the form. So if not being active is your thing, that's your thing. So, but if you actually take advantage of some of the opportunities you have now to get up and get active and do things in your community and give back and be physically fit and do all these things, it'll benefit you in the long run, man, because it just keeps you above the fold. Like you can't possibly say like, okay, I want to go get a 9 to 5, but I retired 2 years ago and every day I wake up at 12.
All right. In the midst of that, what should every vet remember in their darkest moment?
Remember that you have people, brothers and sisters, and all these avenues that you have to talk to somebody. I do this in my Echo Company 1508 book group. We just recently had a 15-year since we lost 2 brothers, and I posted my number in there. I don't care. Call me if you have a problem. If you have any issues, bro, I'd rather, what did they say? I'd rather hear your story than read your eulogy, bro. So, please, if you're in a dark place, man, just talk to somebody. You know, like I had one of the soldiers on that page is in a dark place, and I called him and I tried to call him. He didn't answer, but we all tried to reach out to him, and it made him respond. He actually responded to us and say, "Hey guys, I'm okay." You know what I'm saying? So like, just don't turn your back on each other. Like you said, Gulu, we all we got, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we all we got, and it's sad to watch the news all the time about somebody that's taking their own life or submitting to the will of what's inside their head. So, you know, get that stuff out, man. I understand that it's a tough thing to do. It's like people don't want to show weakness sometimes, but there's nothing wrong with being showing it, especially if it's to somebody that loves you. And I can't tell you that I don't love any of y'all.
Is there anything else you want to leave to the world, veterans, your family, or anything out before we close out? Final remarks?
Well, one, I just want to thank y'all for having me, of course. And I appreciate everything that y'all do. And I would just, I would just say that, like, just hope that everybody in the world is doing well. And that if they ever need anything, hey, reach out to somebody, get some help, anything of that nature. I love doing this. I love helping people, and I hope the best for both of y'all and your families and the whole Swaggy Vet Nation. I've been a supporter of y'all for a very long time, and I do appreciate everything that y'all do and the commentary and your people y'all reach out to, man. It's all love, and the only thing I'd like to say is long live Sheldon, man.
And shout out to you, Kriss. He actually is a member. So if y'all want to join, hit that join button. And Kriss is a good member of the channel, so he gets to see all the videos before everybody.
Yeah, y'all get out here and join, man. It's not about just being a part of Swaggy Vets. It's also about what y'all do for the vets.
Yes, sir. Absolutely,
That's
man.
the most important part. Is how can you not support an organization that supports these same people that are watching? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So that's love.
Well, before we get off, you got anything, Gullah?
Kriss, want to say I'm proud of you, brother.
Thank you.
We've come a long way from running the streets of Fayetteville, North Carolina, Fort Bragg, and from Long Street to Ardennes to you name it. We've come a long way, man. Salute on your journey. Salute on everything that's yet to come. Salute on you strengthening your walk with God as you serve all your stations that you're appointed to in life, bro. Man, thank you for going through the emotional points, man, and just venting with us. It ain't easy always to talk about them dark times, so we appreciate that from a vet to a vet, bro. We appreciate you. What's yet to come, man? The only person that can stop you is you, man. Keep getting it. We're gonna see you at the top. If you want to get active in the Swaggy Vets world, hey, bro, let us know.
I got you.
Let us know if you want to get active. We got work. We always got work. Definitely, no ifs, ands, but about it. Love you, bro. Appreciate you, bro. Salute, man, and keep us posted on your graduation,
I got you.
on your journey, and everything. Keep us posted. We're gonna forever rooting for you, and we're gonna salute you out on the show always.
Raj,
Absolutely, man. I want to say thank you too, Kriss, coming on, sharing your, being vulnerable is not easy, but being able to come on here, tell your story, and tell us like what Sheldon meant to you is definitely powerful, and we appreciate you sharing that emotion on here because that's what it's about, man. Sharing, and we wish you nothing but the best, and thank you so much again, brother.
Hey, thank y'all.
All right, y'all, man. We appreciate y'all coming through, listening to us for a little while. Until next time, stay swaggy, stay strong, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.